Seth Rollins has gotten off to a pretty damn good start as WWE World Heavyweight Champion, though he will need to keep it going if he's going to want to find himself alongside this lot. These are the wrestling champions that took the ball and immediately started sprinting with it, giving their prized possession credibility from the get-go. That credibility didn't always last, sure, but the efforts of the following performers certainly can't be blamed for that. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 best inaugural champions in wrestling history. Join us! Number 10, Buddy Rogers, WWE Champion, then WWF Champion. In 1963, after Vince McMahon Sr. and his business partner Toots Mond decided to leave the National Wrestling Alliance, they needed a new world champion. They settled on Buddy Rogers, who held the belt for just 36 days before dropping it to Bruno Sammartino. You might think that the wise choice would have been to have just put the belt straight on the Italian Stallion, but you would be wrong. Rogers was a megastar at the time, one of the first heels to incorporate flashy looks and an obnoxious personality into their character. He had recently held the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship and had drawn record-setting amounts of money for the company. McMahon and Mons wanted some of that sweet, sweet dough. Had it not been for a mild heart attack that cut his career short, Rogers may well have reigned for much longer. In the end, though, he proved to be just what the company needed, a respected veteran who added serious legitimacy to the new promotion and kept the seat warm for their homegrown talent to swoop in and carry the torch. I mixed a whole bunch of metaphors there, but you get the idea. Number 9, the British Bulldog, WWF European Champion. At SummerSlam 1992, the British Bulldog defeated his brother-in-law Bret Hart to win the Intercontinental Championship in front of a ravenous crowd of his fellow Brits. 5 years later, Vince thought, I wonder if we'll get the same result if we apply that logic to the whole of Europe. The end result of this experiment was a tournament final match between Davey Boy and another of his brother-in-laws, Owen Hart, to crown the first ever European champion. Bulldog had beaten both Mankind and Vader to get to the final and overcame the Rockies in a great match to proudly represent the continent as its champion. He would hold the gold for 206 days, the longest single reign in the belt's entire history. This reign helped establish the title as part of WWE's furniture, helping it achieve the cult status it retains to this very day. He would eventually drop the title to Shawn Michaels, although the less said about that whole deal, the better. Let's just say that Shawn was a very naughty boy. Thanks to the Bulldog, the championship then went on to be held by several other famous European wrestlers, such as Eddie Guerrero and Triple H and D'Lo Brown. Right. Number 8, Seth Rollins, NXT Champion. In 2012, WWE remembered that they weren't a game show company and rebranded the god-awful original version of NXT into the developmental brand that we know and love today. To crown the first ever NXT champion, the Gold Rush tournament was put together, featuring some of the best performers from the old farm system Florida Championship Wrestling. These included Drew McIntyre, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, and eventual winner Seth Rollins. Rollins defeated Jinder Mahal in the tournament final on the August 29th episode of NXT. He ruled the roost for 133 days, eventually dropping the belt to Big E. The new NXT sent out a strong mission statement by making Rollins their first champ. This was a brand where the top stars were technically sound wrestling machines with indie credentials, an ethos that has largely been present in the promotion ever since. Well, you know, except for the 2.0 years. Number 7, AJ Styles, TNA X Division Champion. When you think of the Impact or TNA X Division Championship, what do you picture? And please don't say that match where the Ultimate X kept falling down. The serious answer is a belt that promoted a more spectacular, high-risk, high-flying form of wrestling, one where technical ability and outrageous stunts were valued over sheer size and bulk. And what better wrestler to encapsulate all of that than the phenomenal one AJ Styles? On TNA's second ever weekly pay-per-view, yes, they used to run weekly pay-per-views, those mad lads, Styles defeated Jerry Lynn, Psychosis, and Loki to become the brand new X Division champion. This was a double elimination match, and if anyone can explain to me how that works, then they will get a cookie. Styles would hold the belt for just 49 days before dropping it to Loki, but would win it a total of 6 times across his career. In his time with the company, the future WWE champion was seen as one of the faces of the X division, so it was only fitting that he be the first person to represent it as champion. Number 6, Tyler Bates, WWE UK champion. In January of 2017, WWE held a tournament to crown a new United Kingdom champion that was in no way influenced by the rise in popularity of British indie wrestling. I'm not bitter, you're bitter. The 16-man bracket played out over 2 nights and featured some of the best talent the UK scene had to offer. Trent Seven, Wolfgang, Joseph Connors, Mark Andrews, and a finger-snapping deviant named Pete Dunne, who I am straight up refusing to refer to as Butch here. Dunne made it all the way to the final, impressing with his deep skill set and menacing attitude. He would have won the whole bloody thing were it not for a plucky teenager from Dudley. 19-year-old Tyler Bates had also gotten madly over during the tournament, playing the earnest babyface role to perfection. A kayfabe-injured Bates managed to overcome Dunne in this hard-fought finale, winning the tournament and the title in the process. Bates' incredible performance in this tournament made him a star overnight and attracted plenty of attention to this burgeoning division. Also, this win made him the youngest singles champion in WWE history, meaning that he's achieved more in his short life than I ever will in mine. Ugh. Number 5, Chris Jericho, AEW World Champion. When starting a new wrestling promotion, choosing who to have as top champion is one of the most important decisions a booker needs to make. AEW were faced with this problem ahead of their first all-out pay-per-view back in 2019. Their choices were the young upstart Hangman Adam Page or the 48-year-old ex-WWE guy Chris Jericho. Spoiler, the Cowboy didn't win. Some people had major doubts over Jericho being the first AEW champion. Would putting the belt on him make the company seem like they were just trying to imitate their competition? Would Y2J's age work against him? Thankfully, the answer to both of those questions was no. Jericho was wonderful as title holder thanks to yet another career reinvention. As Le Champion, he walked the line perfectly between delusional comedy heel and genuine threat. He put on a great match with Cody Rhodes at Full Gear before handing over the belt to Jon Moxley at Revolution at the peak of the ex-Shield man's popularity. This inaugural reign was vital in establishing AEW as the new major force in pro wrestling, and we think that deserves a little bit of the bubbly. I'm never gonna stop saying it. Number 4, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, WWE Tag Team Champions. When the SmackDown writers put Heath Slater and Rhino together in 2016, chances are that they were at least partially inspired by this unlikely duo from 14 years earlier. During the original brand split, SmackDown was also left without a set of tag team titles. To counter the World Tag Team Championships on Raw, the Blue Show created a set of belts with a wonderfully original name, the WWE Tag Team Championships. Hey, does what it says on the tin. A tournament was held for these titles, culminating at No Mercy 2002. The two warring sides were made up of Edge and Rey Mysterio and the odd couple pairing of Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle, both of whom existed in a sort of weird tweener area at the time. The two had been put together for the purposes of this tournament, which led to weeks of hilarious segments where they tried and failed to get along. Despite their differences, the two were predictably dynamite in the ring together, as demonstrated in this awesome match. Angle and Benoit were victorious in what some people call the best WWE tag match ever. This nicely drew a line under their story and crowned a set of very talented tag team champions at the same time. Number 3, Antonio Anoki, IWGP Heavyweight Champion. As well as having a chin that could break a diamond in half, Antonio Anoki was one of the most important and influential wrestlers of the last century. A legend in his native Japan, Anoki's lasting legacy is still felt today, as he was the man who founded New Japan Pro Wrestling in 1972. In 1987, when the company was looking to crown their first ever IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Anoki made the selfless decision to award the belt to himself. What a guy. To give him some credit, Anoki was easily the top star in the company. His victory over Masa Saito in a tournament final to win the belt was greeted with huge adulation, which helped sustain his run on top for the better part of a year. Anoki was finally unseated after 325 days and would never regain the title he helped to solidify. The belt would exist until 2021, when it was converted into the stupid-looking IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I cannot believe they got rid of this beautiful belt. So many great wrestlers held the IWGP Heavyweight Championship during its existence, and they all owe the late Mr. Anoki a very large debt for setting the tone. Number 2, Adam Cole, NXT North American Champion. NXT TakeOver New Orleans in 2018 opened with one hell of a match. 6 competitors fought in a hellacious ladder match for the right to call themselves the very first NXT North American Champion. To be fair, I would put myself through a table to get my hands on that gorgeous looking thing. So much better than the new IWGP Championship. Alright, I'll stop going on about that now. The ladder match is still one of the best contests in the history of the brand, with far too many amazing spots to go over here. In the end, the winner of this absolute war was the leader of the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, baby! Cole was easily one of the most popular performers in the whole company, even if he was a detestable heel. Fans were elated to see him win his first singles title in WWE, especially off the back of such an incredible match. For the next 133 days, Cole reigned with the beautiful strap before dropping it to Ricochet in another banger at TakeOver Brooklyn 4. A lengthy reign packed full of great matches with 2 excellent bouts to begin and end it. Can't argue with that, really. Go on, try. Number 1, Kenny Omega, IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion. In 2017, New Japan Pro Wrestling was gaining serious momentum outside of its native land. Attempting to expand further into America, the company created the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship and awarded it to Kenny Omega, who is from Canada. Whoops! In all seriousness, Omega and the rest of Bullet Club were a huge factor in New Japan's worldwide boost in popularity, so putting the title on him was an easy choice, even if he did hail from a few hundred miles north of the belt's namesake nation. Omega defeated Tomohiro Ishii in Long Beach, California to win the title, and would reign with the Star-Spangled Belt buckle for the next 210 days. In that time, he would retain over the likes of Juice Robinson and Trent Beretta, as well as over Chris Jericho in their famous match from Wrestle Kingdom 12. For his excellent matches as champion and his role as foreign ambassador for New Japan, Kenny Omega deserves all the applause for his time as the first IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion. Also, why couldn't New Japan make the world title look as good as this? Okay, I really am done now. Thanks for watching.